Hey you, so today we're going to be doing a tutorial based on the look that I'm currently wearing. This is actually for my cousin. She requested a video of something that's dramatic and soft and sexy all at once, and this is what I came up with. And I really ended up loving the way that this looks. I used 100% drugstore products, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and especially my cousin. I hope you enjoy this for your special day. If you want to see how I got it, then go ahead and keep on watching. I've already gone ahead and primed my eyelid. You can use whichever one that you have. Well, starting off with this palette, this is the Wet n Wild Smoke and Melrose palette. I'm going to be taking this shade here, which is like a dusty mauve shade, and I'm going to be applying this into my crease. And I'm going to be using the Sedona Lace EB13. And I'm just going to be using circular motions to blend this in. So before I move on, I'm going to be using this e.l.f. Long Lasting Lustrous eyeshadow. And I don't remember the name of this one, but it's just a pink tone with a lot of sparkle in it. And this is going to be our base for our eyelid. And we want to concentrate most of this on the inner part of the eye. And I don't want to bring it out too far. I just want to concentrate most of this on the first third of the lid. So for most of the tutorial, I'm going to be using just this palette here. This is the e.l.f. Warm palette, I think it's called, and it has all of these nice warm shades. And I'm going to be using mostly the bottom two rows because those are a lot more rosy in tone, and that is what we're going for today. So I'm going to be going into this shade here, this shade here, and a little bit of this one because I do want to create a rosy brown shade, and all of those shades create that. If you have a deep rosy shade, then you don't have to mix all of them, but this one just doesn't have the perfect shade that I'm looking for, so I just have to make up my own. And we're just going to be placing this directly into the crease, a little bit lower than where we applied the first shade, which serves as our transitional shade. I'm going to be taking this shade and this shade. This is more of an aubergine, and this is just like a matte black, but it's not really intense, which is why I like it. And I'm going to be applying this to the outer part of my eye. And I am going for almost like an extended cat eye shape. I think that's most flattering on most eye shapes. So we're just going to work this in to the outer part of our eye. This brush here is pretty awesome for this particular technique. I'm going to bring it to its side like this and use the tip of the brush to create that shape, and then I'm going to lay it flat and bring it in. Hopefully this is making sense. And I'm just going to be packing that onto the outer part of the eye. And as you get closer to the inner corner, you want to start tapering it off because we don't want a thick line all the way through. Now going in with the smaller blending brush, I'm just going to blend this into the crease. And when you blend out the shade, of course, you're going to have to re-intensify the black and aubergine shade. And you just want to build this shade slowly because you don't want to put too much on your lid to where it just takes over the whole entire look. I'm going to go back into the original crease color, and I'm just going to go over everything so that it's nicely blended. And for this lid shade, I literally mixed every single color that I have. I was trying to come up with like a rosy kind of color, more red, but I ended up with this, I don't know, like almost purpley kind of shade, which I actually really like. So I'm going to be taking this shade and this shade and mixing those two together. I did 1,000,001 steps for this eyelid shade. It might not come out exactly like the other one, which is what I'm worried about because I literally mixed like 10,000 colors. So now I'm just going to be retouching the black so it doesn't take up, so the lid shade doesn't take up the whole space either. We're kind of sharing half and half, if you will. And then over that lid shade, to give it a little bit more of a sheen to it, I use this frosty shade from the e.l.f. palette. And I'm just going to tap that over the eyelid. And it gives it more of a frosty sheen to it, which I actually really like. I'm going to go back in with those 3 shades that we blended in the crease, just to make sure that they look even. So now I'm going to be taking this Italia black eyeliner. This one's pretty easy to smudge out. So if you have an eyeliner that you absolutely love to smudge out, use that. And what we're going to be doing with this is we're actually going to be creating that wing, but you're not going to be able to see it because we're going to smudge it out and blend it out with that black, because we want to create this like smoky haze really close to the eyelashes. I'm just going to create a line, and don't worry if it's not perfect because like I said, we will be blending this out with the black. So you just want to bring it in almost all the way, but not quite. So now I'm going to go just straight into the black shade, and I'm going to go over this and pretty much blend it out so that you can't even see the line. And see how that just automatically makes it a lot darker because we have a darker base to it. And then I'm just going to take that same black liner and tight line and also apply this to my waterline. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply some false lashes. I'm going to be using the Ardell Demi Wispies. These are the Glamour, not the natural kind. To cover the lash band, I just went ahead and applied a little bit more of the black shadow over it. So now I'm just going to curl my real lashes and my false ones together so that they blend in. So I don't have a really great, awesome primer from the drugstore. If you guys do, please let me know in the comment section below, but that is the next step that you would be taking, is putting on a face primer. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to be using this one. This is Pacifica Minerals Alight Multi-Mineral BB Cream. This one does claim to be a primer as well, but I don't know. I would rather have like an actual real primer. But I'm just going to be applying this mostly to my T-zone area because it does have a bit of sheen to it. So I just want those planes on my face to have a little bit more glow to them. So today I'm going to be using this foundation. This is the Covergirl Ready Set Gorgeous Foundation. This one is in the shade 305, and I like this one because it doesn't have any SPF in it and it covers really well. So it'll photograph really nicely. So you just want to make sure to blend this down onto your neck so that everything matches. For concealer, I'm going to be using this one. This is the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this one's in the shade Creamy Beige. I'm going to be using this flat foundation brush to really work the product into the skin. And I want to bring it down here near my nose because as women we get very red around those areas, so just want to make sure to conceal that very well. I'm also going to go ahead and clean up the eyeshadow. To highlight my actual face, I'm going to be using this Maybelline concealer, and this one is in 25 medium, so it's not as bright as the shade that I used to use, but I feel like it'll still work, I think. We'll find out. So to set my foundation, I'm going to be using the Revlon Nearly Naked Pressed Powder in the shade Medium. A little bit of this one. This one is the Rimmel Stay Matte, and this one is in the shade Transparent. This one I have to be really careful because this one is really, really strong. It's pretty white. Even though it says it's transparent, it comes off really white. So I'm going to go ahead and bronze my face. I'm going to be using Milani's Baked Bronzer in the shade Sienna. I don't have a much deeper, darker bronzer shade, so this is going to have to work as both my contour and bronzer shade, unfortunately. So I'm going to be using a fan brush, and I want to make a video about all of the ways that you can use your fan brush, because I feel like most people don't know what the possibilities of a fan brush. So for my eyebrows, I'm going to be using this dark brown eyeliner pencil from Wet n Wild, and then I'm going to be using the Nudes palette for my brow powder kind of color, and I'm going to be using this shade here, which is like a neutral dark brown. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my brow highlight now since I forgot. This is the Wet n Wild Brulee. It's just a really creamy light shade, and I'm just going to be applying this right underneath my brow because I completely forgot. So we're briefly going to come back to the eyes to do the inner tear duct highlight and also the bottom lash line. So taking this palette again, I'm going to be using this shade here to add into my inner tear duct, and that's going to work as our highlight. So now I'm going to be taking this middle shade here. I'm just going to be applying that directly underneath my lower lashes and bringing it to meet the top eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go back into that black that I was using for the outer corner of my eye, and I'm just going to be applying that mostly on the outer third of the eye. Okay, so now I'm going to be using this large fluffy brush that had the original crease color in it, and I'm just going to be using that to blend everything together. So now I'm just going to go back in and apply some mascara to my bottom lashes. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to blush, and I'm going to be using two of them. Both of them are by Milani. I'm going to be using Delizioso Pink and Luminoso because I want a peachy pink kind of color. I'm going to be using this one by Fergie. This is Rose Champagne Glow, and I'm just going to be applying this to the highest points of my cheekbones. Right here to the tops of my arches and a little bit down my nose. So to set my face, I'm going to be using the Badescu facial spray. So it's not super expensive. It's not technically a drugstore brand, but it's not overly expensive. I think it's even cheaper than the L'Oreal one. For lips, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the NYX lip pencil, and this one is in the shade Mauve, and I'm just going to go ahead and line my lips. I'm also going to go ahead and feather this into the outer corners of my lips, or feather it in rather. For a lip color, I'm going to be using these two Rimmel Show Off lip lacquers, and I have mine in Celestial and Nude Eclipse. I wanted to use Nude Eclipse, but I feel like it's a little too nude, so I'm going to use this shade. It's more of a pink shade. So that is it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you give this look a try. So I just wanted to reiterate that you guys don't have to have expensive products to come up with these really awesome looks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you guys don't mind, please checking out my blog. It will be down below and I'll show you more pictures of the whole entire look. Also, please make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those will also be linked down below for a full list of products that I use. That will also be in the description bar. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Bye!